So when squatting, stance, often everybody wonders, hey, what's the optimal stance? Optimal stance is different for everyone, but the first thing you do is you pull up one leg, drop it down, pull up the other leg, drop it down. Generally, that's gonna be your starting position for squatting. And then toe out, generally we always wanna have, we don't like a toe straight position ever. You always wanna toe out a little bit. Generally, if you bring one leg up, drop it, other leg up, drop it, you're gonna go to a natural toe out position. As you squat, a lot of times you're gonna find your body will find, sometimes people will start to spread with their toes a little bit, and that's indicative that your glutes are a little bit tight, but you're gonna squat a lot better if you just take your stance slightly wider and then toe out. And one thing too, think about pushing your knees out as you squat. Always try to kind of drive your knees out, and as you come up, you're still pushing your knees out, because what we want to avoid is that buckling action in the knee. That's really, really important. Knees kind of push out a little bit as you squat, and then push the knees out as you come up. Okay, for the barbell back squat, the first thing you need to do is get the proper grip. In general, most people go way too wide with their grip. The goal is the narrower you are, the more upright you squat. So if you go really wide, what happens is a wide grip will push you forwards and you get way too much lean. A narrow grip will keep your torso more upright. So we always teach the narrowest grip possible, so you always want to pull in as tight as possible. So for me, tight as possible for me is taking my first knuckle and wrapping on the bar and lining up with where the smooth and the rough part of the bar come together. And the rough part of the bar is called knurling. And then once I'm there, what you do is always push the barbell forwards into the rack, take one step, kind of a lunge underneath, and you always want to dig the bar. You can see, I don't know if you can see this bone right here, but this bone that sticks out my neck, you always go below that bone. You squeeze your shoulder blades back, and you create a shelf, and you rest your bar on top of your shoulder blades, but always beneath that bone. I'm gonna push the bar in. I'm gonna get the shelf position. Now I go into a parallel stance. I'm gonna step back. And again, I like no shoes for me. I do better with no shoes, but you might do better with squat shoes. And I'm gonna pull my elbows forwards underneath the bar. That'll keep me more upright. As opposed to here, if you pull your elbows back, that pushes you forwards. So you bring your elbows underneath the bar, chest up, take a big breath in. And the big breath every rep. You always breathe in between reps. Big breath. Ideally, we're going parallel or below parallel. What we don't want, what we're always trying to avoid is the rounded back. So we never want to round our back. Never want to round here, that's the worst. But ideally, we want to go as low as possible. If there's a little rounding in the bottom, that's okay, but what we don't want is this. We never want that. That's how you do a barbell back squat.